So these are the bits and pieces that came out of the front pocket of my bag. So this one here. And you may be wondering why I have so many toothbrushes in my bag. And that's because we use these to clean instruments. So once we've used instruments in a home birth, then we clean them under running water with a brush, and then we soak them in the sterilizing fluid before we clean them again, rinse them off with a brush, dry them and take them back to the practice where they go in the autoclave for sterilization. So these are just very simple toothbrushes, and we use them just once, so then they get thrown away. So I have a stock of those in my bag. These are essential for every birth. It's probably the most simple tool we have. It's absolutely essential. These are bendy straws. When you're in a position that is comfortable for you during labor, it could be laying down under the shower, bending forwards. It's sometimes not always easy to drink and to take those sips. So having a straw with a bendy bit at the top is always handy. Now there's not always one available, so I have a few individually packed ones in my bag. This little pack here is actually really handy. This came out of a fishing bag. It's got all the different compartments in it. This is my kit that has all of the different syringes and needles in that I typically need during a birth. It's got also the lidocaine in it. So we have a stock of lidocaine that we keep with us, which is the local anesthetic we use for stitching. So we always have lidocaine with us. Here I've got just another selection of extra bits and pieces. I've got some more water for injections, different sizes of needles that we might need, different syringes, and another, this is the vitamin K drops that we give, and the little syringe that goes with that, and then all the different things that I might need for either using for local anesthetic or for injections or for taking blood or for giving water injections, all in this little box. And the last thing I have with me is a declaration of birth. So it's a birth, it's not a birth certificate, it's actually declaring that the birth happened. This is something that you'll need to take to the gemeente with you to register the birth. And when a home birth happens, then we fill it in, and we have to sign to declare that the baby's been born, whether it's a boy or the girl, date of birth, time of birth, and the details of the mother. And if you have your baby in the hospital, then they'll print one from the system, but a home birth, we handwrite these out, and then you take it with you down to the gemeente when you register the baby. And this is something might be interesting just to see. This is an emergency measures book. We have a emergency training every year, so we run through all the potential calamities that can happen. So we're trained every single year. We do scenario training and hands-on training. We've just done it actually after the COVID rules were relaxed a little bit. We're able to have our first live training for some time. This is a really handy book that we keep in our bag because it has a double-sided design. So all of the things that we may need to do, which are very unusual, thankfully. It has information for us on communication, how best to deal with situations. But because we're assisted by a kraamzorg in a home birth, it has a schedule for us, and then mirrored down the other side, it has an assistance schedule. So if somebody's there with you, we have our own reminders of what we need to do in which order, and it has a help book side as well. So if there's somebody there who can follow the pictures even simply, or even if it's not a trained person, they can help, and then they know what to do, and we can delegate to them. So it's a whole color-coded book of all different bits and pieces that helps us to remember all of our emergency training. So that's my whole pack. I shall put it back in now, so I'm ready for when somebody calls me tonight. I don't know if it's going to be too warm for anybody to have babies. It's currently 34 degrees in the Netherlands whilst doing this film. So that's a very unusually hot weather. I hope you're all keeping cool.